The art of fortune, the key manifestation of mental riches.
Wealth is a painting long before it is a possession. The masterpiece you hang in your external world is sourced from the palette of your inner energy.
To understand fortune is to understand aesthetics, not of art, but of awareness. True wealth begins not in the banks or stocks or vaults of the world, but within the invisible corridors of your thoughts. What you call money is merely the shadow. It is the echo of something far more intimate, far more refined, your energetic relationship to abundance. There is an artfulness to manifestation that few are ever taught. Not the mechanics of gaining, but the elegance of becoming. You do not chase wealth, you compose it, you draft it like a symphony across the staves of your spirit. You select every note with a painter's care, every harmony with a sculptor's hand, and what the world receives is the artifact of your internal clarity. Chapter 1. The Art of Fortune. Imagine this. Your mind is a great gallery, a sunlit space where fortune awaits its unveiling. The walls are unadorned, but humming with potential. This is where your wealth self lives, not in fantasy, but in pure creative blueprint. Wealth, you see, is not a future, it is a form, a language, a frequency. It lives in stories you tell yourself privately when the lights are low and no one is watching. It nestles in the way you sip your morning coffee. Are you celebrating or surviving? Do you touch the world like someone who expects gold, or like someone borrowing time? Most people engage with wealth only as a chase, a finish line to be crossed breathless, desperate. But true fortune is not acquired, it is revealed. It arises like light through open windows when the veil of doubt has finally been pulled back. And to do that, you must become the artist, not simply of money, but of mindset, of emotional tone, of who you allow yourself to be when no one is measuring you. Mental riches are not harder to earn, they are more subtle to perceive. They arrive like brushstrokes before the form is full. You must trust the outline before color appears. You must stand in front of a blank canvas and see not absence, but supreme opportunity. The ones who manifest consistently don't do so by chance. They treat their minds like sacred studios, understanding that no masterpiece comes from chaos. There is no room for mental clutter when creation is the goal. That is why your first fortune is clarity. You begin by clearing the static, by declaring, I am no longer a servant to fear-based creation. I do not build wealth from panic. I do not craft abundance through force. I build my fortune the way the ocean builds tides, cyclical, confident, and ever returning. Let go of the belief that wealth is something to achieve. What if you saw it instead as something to become exquisite with? Something to silhouette against your boldest vision and wrap around your identity like silk. You do not need to force this creation. You need to feel it, vivid and electric within you. Visualize yourself entering your mental gallery. On the walls are paintings, not yet finished, of the life that whispers to you in dreams. Perhaps you see yourself walking through your ideal home, the light warm and easy across the floor. Perhaps you glimpse a version of you laughing without self-censorship, writing million-dollar checks with clean joy. What matters is not what you see, but how viscerally you allow yourself to see it. Will you choose grayscale dreams? Or will you commit to full-spectrum belief? This version of you, the one with ease, with time, with unshakable grace, is not waiting for you in a far-off land. They are here, behind the fog of disbelief. Behind the clutter of urgency, you melt that fog with every new belief. With every moment, you allow peace and possibility to combine like light on water. You become the artist, the moment you decide there is no such thing as being too early to know who you really are. What you admire in others, their freedom, their elegance, the way money seems to flow toward them, is not something they were gifted arbitrarily. They created it first in mental form. They learned to see fortune not as a prize, but as a portrait, a canvas they could always return to, always shape.
And you will now do the same.
Close your eyes, just for a moment, and ask without fear. What would it look like to be the most abundant version of me? What art is trying to paint itself through my life? What golden shapes want to take form now, through me, not later?
Not someday, now.
You are not here merely to survive behind someone else's blueprint. You are here to create wealth, like an artist, bold strokes infused with vision, subtle details sculpted with emotional precision. To manifest fortune, you must feel like an artist in love with your own capacity. You must know that your thoughts are not idle. They are brushstrokes, they build. So pick up your palette, choose your pigments of thought, emotion, and identity. Let the world become your canvas. You are not waiting for wealth. You are becoming it.
This is fortune, reimagined.
This is your first stroke. Choosing to see. Chapter 2. The key manifestation of mental riches. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you unlock. It begins in whispers, in the quiet language of your thoughts, in the moments you imagine a life more luminous, more fluid, more effortlessly abundant. The universe leans in, not with judgment, not with resistance, but with readiness. Because money is not waiting outside of you. It is circling your frequency, echoing back what your mind decides is true. The world, this universe, your experience, it does not give you what you wish for. It gives you what you know yourself to be.
And here begins the art of mental riches.
Wealth is not an object. It is an atmosphere crafted by inner belief. Money doesn't respond to strategy before it responds to state. Your imagination is not idle. It is your original currency, more potent than gold, more magnetic than numbers. Your thoughts are not mere internal ramblings. They are shimmering invitations sent out into the invisible, laced with your essence, signaling what you are available to receive. In this dimension, the decision to become wealthy is not about action first. It is about identity. Thought patterns carry voltages. If your mind becomes the home of worry, doubt, and not enough, then every outer action will bend around those frequencies, no matter how ambitious. But if your thoughts start to echo abundance, if your inner world is draped in clarity, calmness, opulence, then the material world adapts to match. You are not here to hustle harder. You're here to think cleaner. A wealthy mind is not cluttered with hows, whens, whats. It is serene, knowing, deliberate. It walks through possibilities like one floats through sunlight, easy, attending, already aligned. There is no strain, there is certainty. And from that certainty, money begins to organize itself in your favor. Mental hygiene becomes paramount here. You must tend to your thoughts like a garden sculpted for royalty. Remove the weeds of limitation, plant seeds of prosperity, and water them with belief. Speak what you desire inwardly with elegance, as if it is already arrived, and you are simply preparing your soul to welcome it home. This is not delusion. This is dimension. Your brain is not just a processing center, it is a broadcast tower. What it emits, you receive. When you hold pictures of scarcity or images of strain, the field around you recalibrates subtly, mechanically, masterfully. The mind becomes the mold through which energy pours. So what mold have you built? Is it shaped like chaos and lack? Or does your imagination sculpt the life of a calm millionaire aesthetic, sovereign, unhurried? Begin to see your thoughts as architects. Each one lays a brick in the palace you live in. They sketch doors of opportunity. They carve gold into the framework of your future. And one of the most powerful of these architects is clarity. Clarity is not a demand, it is an invitation. It says to the universe, I know what I desire, and I know myself worthy of receiving it. It is not forceful, it is focused. It has no attachment, only deep trust. You do not manifest wealth by grasping for it. You receive wealth by standing still in the knowing of it. Like the moon pulls tides without effort, you call fortune when you are stable, still, and internally sure. Let me introduce to you the art of your mental bank. Every day, you make deposits. Not in numbers, but in narratives. You either invest in belief or withdraw into fear. You either accrue compound confidence or rack up overdrafts of stress. This mental bank operates in murmurs, in intentions, in what you say to yourself between the doing. Do you tell yourself that money is hard? Or do you rehearse, with quiet luxury, the story that money adores your energy, that it arrives in avalanches, that your frequency is wealth itself? Begin each day depositing thoughts of generous vision. Even 10 minutes of aligned imagination is worth more than 10 hours of unanchored work. Let your mind first feel like a mansion. Clean floors of certainty, open windows facing possibility, velvet chairs of peace. Then go into the world and act, knowing your inner atmosphere has already laid the path. The manifestation of wealth is not built with steps. It is built in resonance. Frequencies don't lie, and they don't delay. They orchestrate, they arrange, they bring forth the mirrored response, every time, from the quantum field. Your power is not in how others perceive you. Your power is in how rich your inner self-concept has become. Every dollar you will ever attract begins here in your language to yourself, in your mental posture, in the energetic mirror you hold to the sky. Speak the language of wealth, internally, constantly, beautifully. Let your thoughts dress in luxury before your body does. Your reality follows what you wear on the inside always. Welcome to the gallery of your mind, where riches are designed in silence and inscribed into destiny. The key is already yours. Chapter 3. Quantum Wealth Vision. Wealth does not arrive with fanfare in a future date stamped by the calendar. It already exists now, in a dimension just beyond your habitual awareness, flickering like gold light through a slightly ajar door. Quantum wealth vision is not about seeing money as a future event to chase. It is about collapsing timelines and stepping into the version of you where fortune is the state of being, not a thing to get, but a rhythm to become. Close your eyes for a moment. Let your breath relax into its natural cadence. Imagine a corridor shimmering with mirrors, each reflecting a version of you. Walk slowly. In some reflections, you meet the self who doubts, struggles, compares. But keep walking, because there, at the far end, is one mirror unlike the rest. It glows. You approach, and this version of you greets you not with words, but presence. Wealth is not just visible in their clothes, their watch, or their success. It pours from their eyes, serene, sovereign, and free. This is you. You have found your quantum twin, the one already living abundance as an identity. Quantum wealth vision is the ability to shift into that version before the evidence arrives. It is a sacred reordering of perception, where you become wealth now because vibration precedes manifestation. Energy is primary. The physical merely responds. And in the quantum field, time is not a line, it is a palette. You can dip your brush into any color, past, future, ultimate, and paint your present accordingly. Richness, then, is not a goal. It is an energetic echo that rings louder the more you attune. This is where linear thinking dissolves. Most are taught that success is sequential, earned like climbing a cold mountain, one step, then the next, with effort as the sole currency. But in quantum wealth, your beliefs fold space. Emotion sets the coordinates. Vision is the key that dissolves delay. You don't wait for the money. You become the consciousness that cannot help but magnetize it. Let us speak clearly. The wealthy version of you is not imaginary. That self already exists in another reality, pulsing with vitality. The house, the freedom, the audacity of joy, they are not dangling above you like unreachable stars. They are here, encoded in your field, waiting for permission. And permission is not granted by outside forces. It is claimed from within, the moment you say, I choose to see with different eyes. When you stop seeking wealth externally and begin embodying it internally, you collapse timelines. You unhook from the idea of someday and step into already. This is the alchemy of the quantum frame. You leave behind the logic of cause and effect and move into cause through identity, effect by vibrational certainty. But how does one inhabit this timeline? Through emotional rehearsal, through daily immersion in the identity of wealth. You speak, breathe, walk, as though money is not just coming, it is an extension of your essence. There is no pretending here. No fake it till you make it. You feel it until it forms. You inhabit until it obeys. Reality is not stone. It is clay, and your thoughts are sculpting tools. To live in quantum wealth vision is to develop sight beyond sight. You don't wait until the bank account impresses others. You train your inner eye to see opulence in the pause between your thoughts. You hear gold in silence. You feel richness while making coffee, while dressing in everyday clothes, while smiling at yourself in the mirror, not because you are trying to believe, but because you do. That's quantum. That's instant. That's transformative. Let this chapter seep past logic and nestle into your cells. You no longer walk to your dreams, you vibrate their arrival. You align not through force, but through elegance. You shift by knowing. This isn't magic, it's design. As you read these words, another self of you is reading them too. The you whose business soars effortlessly, whose wallet is pregnant with peace, whose life is an artwork of prosperity. You are remembering them now. Not because they were far, but because the static is clearing and your dial is tuning. Welcome to your wealth timeline. It has always been here, Answers don't arrive one day, you become the question that unlocks them. And now, step through. See with higher eyes. Emerge with richer breath. Everything you want, you already are. Chapter 4. Being happy in the journey.
There is a secret more golden than gold. Joy is not what comes after the wealth arrives. Joy is what calls it in. This is the radiant paradox that so many seekers miss. They withhold their happiness in a waiting room of someday, imagining joy will arrive hand in hand with a net worth or a closing deal. But here is the truth that changes your reality, not later, now. Happiness is not the end of the manifestation path. It is the very vibration that manifests. The universe does not respond to the mind that begs. It moves with the one who already celebrates. Your emotional tone is your invitation. Every time you feel joyful before the evidence appears, you collapse the timeline between desire and realization. You make your inner world so resonant with abundance that the outer world has no choice but to mirror it.
So, what does this mean for the journey? It means that the becoming, the long walk toward a dream, can itself feel luxurious.
Imagine strolling through a sunlit forest, knowing with a deep certainty that a majestic prize waits just beyond the bend. But you are so delighted by the shimmer of light on the leaves that you are not in any hurry.
That's the essence of true manifestation. Not rushing, but savoring. Not proving, but feeling. Wealth, when birthed from inner delight, comes gently, gracefully, like a lover drawn by laughter. So many attempt to manifest from lack, disguised as ambition. They chase visions like prey, exhausting themselves in the sprint. But fortune does not come from force. It blooms from frequency. The more joyful you're now, the closer the future you desire slides into the present. This is not about fake optimism. This is about anchoring in the truth of who you already are, infinitely connected, worthy, wealthy in spirit. From that knowing, real radiance rises. Happiness in the journey is not passive. It's the most active alignment you can choose. It means you wake up and decide to feel rich in this breath, not for what you've purchased, but for the eternal value already humming in your being. Gratitude, then, becomes your silent wealth builder, a current of appreciation so strong that it turns shadows of doubt into golden light. Even in waiting, you are not without access. Even in the quiet seasons, when the physical hasn't arrived, your joy can flood the empty spaces until they overflow. Every smile you invite, every moment you delight in beauty, a blooming flower, a warm sip of tea, a word well written, stitches the energetic tapestry of your fortune. You are not behind. You are sculpting something exquisite, and the more you enjoy the art of the process, the more vivid the masterpiece becomes. Relaxation, too, is a high-frequency state. Those who are most magnetically abundant carry an ease in their presence. They don't scramble, they don't grip, they trust, and in that trust, they receive. The moment you let go of your timelines and melt into gratitude, you create space for something even better than you imagined. This is the invisible mechanism of wealth attraction, when you stop trying to prove that you're ready and instead live as if you've already become it. So yes, vision is powerful. Yes, strategy has its place. But joy is the gateway. Laugh for no reason. Dance before the paycheck. Celebrate the rhythm of becoming. When you choose happiness without a reason, the universe sends you reasons. And those reasons they compound, not just in money, but in miracles. Tiny signs, unexpected blessings, gestures of alignment, they all begin to show up when joy is made your currency. Your journey is the masterpiece, your mood is the brush. Paint it richly now, not someday, not after arrival, but in this moment, where the world, quietly and curiously, watches the vibrational wealth of your soul. Here is your magic. When happiness is your habit, fortune is inevitable. Chapter 5. The rich version of you already exists. There is a version of you fully radiant, effortlessly abundant, and joyfully resourced, who is not someday arriving, but already alive in the unseen gallery of your consciousness. The rich you is not a projection of a distant dream, but a vibration, present and pulsing, waiting for integration. Your job is not to create this version. Your job is to remember them, feel their essence, and breathe your way into alignment so fully that their identity shapes your every thought, word, and decision. Wealth is not a linear path with arrival points
and milestones. It is an unlocking, a removal of dust from a golden mirror. The treasure is not in your future, it is in your frequency. Close your eyes for a moment. Lay down the burdens of becoming, hustling, fixing. Now, feel the air charged with possibility, that shimmer of knowing, that whisper of radiance in your chest. That is the rich you. And they are not beyond reach. They are you without the old programming. They are you minus the scarcity spell. They are not an aspiration. They are your native essence. This chapter is your permission slip to let go of the identity you inherited, to abandon the looping thoughts that wealth is something you must work hard enough to deserve. Who taught you that worth is conditional? Who convinced you that prosperity has a price tag of sacrifice, desperation, or delay? These were illusions etched into the psyche of a world that feared its own power. But you are waking up. The abundant you does not chase, beg, or barter with the universe. They command with grace. They walk with an inner elegance born from knowing, I am already the thing I seek. The rich you moves through space softly, anchored, and magnetically focused. Their decisions are not infused with fear, but with refinement. Do you feel that difference? It is not in the number in the bank, it is in the posture of your soul. When you embody the rich you are not pretending, you are not playing dress-up in spiritual garb. You are cutting cords with the noise that told you otherwise. You are rehearsing truth until it becomes embodied knowing, and embodiment is the language of manifestation. You do not become wealthy by wishing. You become wealthy by feeling wealthful, completely, consistently, confidently across moments and moods. Wealth is not summoned by need, but by identity. It echoes you. Who are you becoming in the unseen? Every decision you make from this day forward adds detail to the sculpture that is your wealthy identity. Will you say yes to the things that reflect your expansion? Will you walk away from what cheapens your energy? Will you speak about money with grace, not guilt? These micro moods and subtle choices are not small. They are strokes of gold on your masterpiece. Begin to live from the future, not for it. There is a myth that says transformation takes time, but truth knows better. Transformation takes permission. Right now, in this breath, you can begin to release the version of you addicted to struggle. Right now, you can shift from trying to create wealth to becoming it. Lean into that truth. Speak to yourself as you would the rich you, with reverence, kindness, clarity. That's how alignment works, not through effort, but through energetic fluency. You are not far from your highest abundance. You are simply one identity shift away. Let that be your sacred assignment today, to walk as though you already are, the one who receives, contributes, and circulates wealth with elegance. Let your mind wear that reality like a well-tailored suit. Let your speech carry the cadence of already having it. Let your heart soften into trust, expecting prosperity not as a fluke, but as your forever rhythm. The rich you is not waiting at the finish line. They are walking beside you, whispering ancient truths through your intuition, dazzling your imagination with flickers of possibility. So trust the memory that lives in your bones. Embody your own elegance. And remember, you were never here to chase gold. You were here to remember that you are gold. Chapter 6. Desire means you have the capabilities to achieve it. Desire isn't a weakness. It is the flame that flickers in the heart of vision, the first ember of your fortune taking its breath in the unseen. When a longing stirs within you for more wealth, greater freedom, elegant ease, or boundless possibility, it is not a random ache. It is the signal flare of your capabilities calling you forward. You would not desire it if you did not already contain the blueprint to receive it. This world speaks in vibrations, and desire is a signal you send, not to ask, but to remember. When you want something deeply, when it glows in your belly and speaks in your dreams, it's not requesting permission. It's calling up the buried truth of what you already are. The dream exists in your orbit because somewhere deep within, you are built to live it. You are wired for the experience it offers, not as an outsider peering in with hope, but as a co-creator, remembering what has always been meant for you. Most people have been trained to distrust their desires. They've been told wanting is selfish, greedy, or naive, that dreams are dangerous illusions that can disappoint or distract. But in truth, desire is divine geometry. It gives shape to what is already forming within you. Desire is the compass provided by consciousness itself. It whispers, "Go this way, your treasure is near." When you understand this, something remarkable happens.
You stop asking for permission to want. You stop shrinking your visions down to match your current reality. Instead, you let desire expand you. You let it stretch your identity, your belief systems, your energy field, because that longing is there to awaken parts of you more capable, more empowered, more aligned than you've ever dared to meet before. Every desire is a mirror. It reflects the version of you that is already living that life, in potential, in vibrational truth. And your only job is to breathe life into that version, through certainty, not action alone, but belief.
Bold, saturated belief.
So, when the thought comes that you want more money, more pleasure, more spaciousness, more beauty, more influence, pause. Drop out of judgment and into sacred listening. This is the moment to ask, not, can I afford to want this?
But why is this calling me? What truth is trying to come alive through me?
The truth is this: your desire is not about the external thing. It's not about the car, the house, the bank statement, the destination. Those are symbols, markers, golden breadcrumbs. The real treasure lies in who you must become to allow them.
The desire is a growth path, the invitation to evolve into someone sovereign enough, stable enough, and energetically congruent.
Enough to dwell in that reality, permanently, peacefully.
What if you treated your desires like sacred architecture? Not flimsy wishes that may or may not come true, but divine blueprints placed in your consciousness with precision and purpose. You wouldn't rush them. You wouldn't panic. You would study them, honor them, nourish them. You would stop seeing desire as lack and start seeing it as an echo from your multiverse self calling home. You're not chasing. You're claiming. You're not begging for access. You're becoming the frequency. Whenever you feel unworthy or incapable, it's not that your desire has betrayed you, it's that your mind has simply forgotten your coding. So recode. Remember, reposition. When a sensation of longing rises, place your hands on your heart or your solar plexus and say, left double quotation mark, let it activate. Resistance is only the shadow of your readiness rising. Breathe through it, let it fuel the becoming. This is the secret alchemy. When you stop fearing your desires, they stop hiding from you. When you no longer treat them as distant stars, but as signals from the very soul of your infinite self, you collapse time, you shift timelines. You become the oracle of your own experience, guided by sensation, led by resonance. So dare to want. Want gloriously, unapologetically, audaciously. Want not from wounded need, but from sovereign knowing. Because every genuine desire is a promise, not that you will get something outside of you, but that you already contain the seed of your next great becoming. And like all things rooted in truth, in divine timing, it must bloom.
Chapter 7. In the abundant vibrational energy. Abundance does not arrive it. Surround. It is not summoned like a guest. It is remembered like an old friend. In truth, you are swimming in it now, not in theory, but in vibration. The wealth you desire is not waiting to be built from the ground up. It's humming, circling, whispering in energetic fields all around you, tuned to your willingness to hear it, feel it, live it. Energy is the first form of currency, and vibration is your signature. Every thought, every feeling, every vision you cradle and amplify adds color to the aura you shine into the world. And the universe, it simply echoes back what you radiate, like a cosmic mirror, with no opinion, no agenda, only alignment. When you step into a vibration of having, of enoughness, of I already am, the external world shifts its costume to match your internal stage. The illusion of scarcity is a masterpiece of forgetfulness. This world, dazzling and infinite, did not lack the moment you entered it. Scarcity, you see, is not an outer condition, it is an interruption in your frequency. It is not about depleted resources or missed opportunities, but about a momentary misalignment with the truth. There is more available to you than you've dared to request. Abundance has never left the room. It is leaning, patiently, like light behind a curtain, waiting only for you to pull it aside and see. To exist in abundant vibrational energy is not to fake it or force it, but to feel for it. To lean inward before looking outward. It begins with a rhythm within the chest, a soft conviction that says, I am part of something vast. My resources go far beyond my bank account. I create, not from effort, but from essence. Think of it now, the sensation of overflow, the texture of not needing, but choosing, the posture of knowing that life meets you with generosity when you meet yourself with trust.
Many chase abundance as though it is a finish line, but the sage knows it is not a place, it is a palette. Your life is ever painting realities based on mood, focus, and expectation. The million-dollar question is not what must I do to get rich.
It is how deeply can I trust that it's already here energetically, and allow myself to become its match. Because your fortune already exists as unseen architecture. The more you believe it is there, the more solid its form becomes. The more you vibrate in its field, the more tangible it appears. Faith, in essence, is the architect's compass.
There is a stillness in true abundance, a sovereignty that does not waver at the winds of what's in the mailbox or on the screen. You begin to feel its presence when you stop chasing and start receiving. You don't clench your way into wealth, sweetheart. You relax into it. You soften the jaw, the fists, the brows, and in the space between effort and surrender, abundance rushes in like sunlight through an open window. Let your energy be your introduction, not to others, but to your future. Walk as if you have already received. Speak as if what you ask for is laughing behind the curtain of time, ready to leap into your lap the moment you expect it, the moment you embody the version of you who already holds it without hesitation. The quantum realm is listening for permission not in your words, but in your ease.
Some will ask, what do I need to do to step into that vibration? But you, dear reader, you already know. You've been feeling it since page 1. There are no magic tasks, only magnetic thoughts. There is no perfect plan, only energetically aligned presence. Feel rich and you magnetize richness. Feel safe and opportunity opens. Feel liberated and money moves through your world with fluid grace. You are not creating wealth. You are revealing your resonance with it. It is not outside of you. It is coded into your being, breathing behind each elevated emotion, hidden in each moment of gratitude, pulsing within every imaginative spark. When you taste joy, you taste fortune. When you choose peace, you choose prosperity. Every time you trust your path and tilt your inner dial toward harmony, you embody your most abundant self. So, here in this electric now choose, not the small desire, not the careful version of you waiting for signs. Choose the resonance of plenty. Choose to know your worth changes the weather. Choose to believe the frequency of abundance is natural to you because it is. There is no scarcity. There never was. There is only you, rediscovering your power to tune in. And in the tuning, all things begin to dance. Chapter 8. Relax, and it will never be late.
Time is a gentle servant, not a tyrant. The part of you that believes you are behind, running late, or that your abundance should have arrived by now, that part is caught in the illusion of urgency, not the rhythm of wealth. The art of fortune never scrambles. It flows, it knows, it trusts. To manifest riches of the mind and matter, you must enter the sanctuary of calm. Not lethargy, not surrender to apathy, but the sacred poise of knowing that what you are creating is certain, inevitable, and complete in the unseen, even as the seen takes its time to catch up. Relaxation is not the absence of action. It is action energized by clarity. It is proof that your creation is so real to you within that you can smile, breathe, and sip from the present without panic. Think of your wealthy vision as a seed that draws in sunlight. You do not dig up a planted seed every hour to ask if it's growing fast enough. You water it, honor its timing, and smile at the still earth, knowing something miraculous is unfolding below where your eyes can't yet go. Prosperity is no different. There is no virtue in forcing the bloom. Eagerness laced with fear becomes pressure, but eagerness with peace, that is magnetic. The universe reshuffles itself around your dominant emotional tone. And here's the secret. Relaxation is a manifestation accelerator, not because it speeds up results, but because it aligns your field with their arrival. When you relax, truly relax, you move from needing to knowing. You shift from trying to transmitting. And transmission is the true currency of wealth creation. Imagine walking into a room where your richest self already dwells, silk-clothed, unhurried, sipping golden tea, smiling not because they have it all, but because they know it's all becoming. There is no tension in their brow, no frayed edge in their voice. They are art before success. They are grace before gold. That version of you is real. Feel them now.
Every time you feel tempted to overexert, to grip time like a rope slipping through hands, remember, there is divine opulence in the pause. Relaxation is receptive. It's how you declare, I trust that fortune is keeping its promise. Deliberate calm is not avoidance. It's discipline. It's mastery. It is mental luxury. And luxury is your natural habitat, not the clamor of anxiety dressed as productivity. Abundance doesn't run at the pace of fear. It arrives at the frequency of ease. The soul that says, it must happen now, is still auditioning for evidence of worth. But the soul, who knows that no timing can threaten what is already theirs, that soul is in its prime posture of power. Let yourself be that soul. Listen, there is a strange irony to the universe. It often waits for you to stop checking, chasing, calculating how close you are. The door swings open. Why? Because you've shifted internal codes from lack to lived possession. When you are relaxed, you are signaling ultimate confidence. You are broadcasting, left double quotation mark. This is the dance of queens and kings in golden gardens, rhythmic, unhurried, commanding without force. Your tension is not a magnet. It's a message to the field that you're still unsure. But your rest? Your rest is a thunderous yes to all that's coming. Your stillness thrones the vision. Rest is readiness. So right now, close the timeline. Step out of dates and deadliness. Lean back into the endlessness of becoming. Know, with the full body of your being, that what is for you is faithful. It doesn't skip. It doesn't delay out of spite. Sometimes it pauses only to give your spirit space to expand into its capacity. Sometimes it waits, so that all parts click together in glorious symmetry. The people, the opportunities, the moments of magic converging like stars on cue. You're not behind. You never were. The masterpiece is still drying on the canvas. Trust the brush. Trust the frame being built around it. And above all, trust the hand, your divine inner self, that painted it in the first place. What you're asking for has already begun its journey toward you. It does not walk on your clock, but on your clarity. That part is yours to sculpt. So exhale. Let gentle mastery be your new rhythm. Let faith be the tempo. Relax, and remember, it will never, ever be late. Chapter 9. Everything you want is already for you. There is an ancient murmur in the soul that whispers this truth. What you seek is not distant. It is destined. You do not have to chase what's already yours. Everything you want, everything you ache to hold and live and become, already belongs to you in the realm where time is fluid and energy obeys intention. This moment, this very breath, is not a beginning. It is a reminder. You are not designing your fortune from nothing. You are remembering its design in you. Imagine this. Within you exists a grand archive, an invisible temple of wealth, where the blueprint of your most radiant reality is etched with golden precision. You think it's a dream, your desire, but it is actually a memory, not from the past, but from your multi-dimensional truth. When your heart leaps at a vision of luxury, ease, or expansive success, it is not calling for something foreign. It is recognizing what was always aligned and echoing through parallel layers of you. Desire does not pull things toward you. It pulls you toward yourself, the larger, richer, more luminous self, who already lives in possession of the path fulfilled. And once that self becomes your center of gravity, the outer world recalibrates. Not because you learned the secret, but because you finally stopped hiding from your inheritance. There is no gatekeeper to your wealth, but the delay of your belief. And nothing delays your belief more than the idea that your desires are optional, indulgent, or somehow out of reach. They are not. They are encoded invitations from your higher soundscape, the vibrational reality, speaking through intuition, nudges of inspiration, and aching nostalgia for a life you somehow know but haven't yet lived. If you quiet the noise, the fears, the logic, the social narratives of have to and not yet, you will begin to hear the hum of truth just beneath the static. It sings softly, but clearly. It is yours. It has always been yours. This dream is not a wish cast into dark uncertainty. It is a tether pulling light into form, guiding the formless into your grasp by the power of convinced energy. So you do not need to strive. You do not need to prove. You need only align, embody, relax into your belonging. As you walk through life repeating this quiet mantra, everything I want is already for me. Something subtle rearranges within you. The urgency dissolves. The scarcity veil lifts. You become less magnet-seeking metal and more sun-drawing planets into orbit. You become the center from which fortune orbits, dances, and forms. Wealth can no longer run from one who does not run after it, and money cannot hide from the one who already knows it's theirs. That knowing is not arrogance, it is spiritual posture. Knowing is how abundance tastes when it sits inside your nervous system. When your cells hum with expectancy rather than escape, money comes not like a chase ending, but like a homecoming begun. When you stop asking, will it happen, and begin living as it is here, a flicker of magic ignites, not to trick the universe, but to unmask it. For the mystical law is this: the version of you who has everything you desire already walks within you, already breathes in the silence between your doubts, already dances, already builds, already gives. There is no waiting room for the abundant soul, only a frequency hallway. As soon as you speak the tongue of belief, the doors respond, they always do. So what if you asked no more questions about possibility? What if you wasted no more seconds on trying to deserve? What if you moved only from celebration? Wouldn't you walk differently today? Wouldn't you dress from your golden essence, speak from sureness, give like fountains do, without counting? This is the shift, not into arrogance, but into remembrance. What you want has been patiently holding space for you to recognize yourself in it. And as you do, not fully, not perfectly, just willingly, the universe bends backward to place in your hands what your soul already clasped. Everything you want is not a far-off land. It is your original home. Your wealth is waiting for you, simply to remember the address. Chapter 10. The entire universe always hears you. Nothing you've wished, whispered, or wept has gone unheard. Every desire you've carried softly in your chest, like a sacred ember, every hope shaped in the quiet corners of your mind, they've all been registered in the grand symphony of existence. The entire universe, vast, ancient, intelligent, responds not to noise or effort, but to energy. And your energy is a transmitter of sacred codes. It's tempting to believe, in moments of silence or in seasons of delay, that your intention has been lost in the void. But the universe is not a cold expanse. It is consciousness, alive, alert, and in rhythmic communion with your inner world. Just because you do not yet see the thing on the material stage does not mean it hasn't been heard on the energetic one. In fact, the moment your desire was born, the energetic structure of it began forming. The manifestation process didn't start with your action. It began with your declaration, I want this. You are not throwing pennies into the well and hoping. You are sculpting sound waves of desire with your emotional resonance, and they echo farther and more accurately than words ever could. The universe speaks in frequency. It hears vibration fluently. And this is the poet's truth. Emotions are language. The ache of longing, the sigh of relief, the pulse of anticipation. They sing to the quantum realms. You've never needed to speak louder. You've only needed to feel cleaner. Even your silence carries sound if it's filled with belief. There are manifestations humming toward you right now, born entirely from thoughts you never spoke aloud, unspoken yet undeniable. That is the power of inner clarity. When you know it's yours, the universe aligns with the surety of your knowing. Uncertainty delays, but conviction is a siren call to creation. You are part of this universal intelligence, not separate from it, not a beggar at its gates. The same energy creating constellations swells in your own heart as desire. And desire isn't random, it's relational. It's a co-creative dialogue between your soul and all that is. The wealth you want isn't outside of your design, it's threaded into your soul's instructions. So when you dream, you're not asking for too much. You're remembering too little. Your longing is a signal from your higher self to come home to what is already destined. But remember, the universe does not respond to frantic requests. It moves gracefully with belief. It moves with declaration. Speak your wealth with elegance, not desperation. Feel your abundance, like an artist feels the masterpiece before the first stroke. Know it. Drape yourself in the certainty that what you've sent out has already been received and assigned. Grieve as though it must arrive. because energetically it already has. You may not control timing, but you do control tuning. Line yourself up. Sync your mental and emotional waves to the version of you who already knows that every ask has been accepted. Do you realize how powerful you become when you stop scrambling for proof and instead become the evidence? Walk like it, speak like it, expect like it. That's not pretense. That's behavioral alignment with your soul's creations. The universe is a giver. It's not testing you, it's trusting you. It's waiting for you to trust yourself. It has heard your energetic script, and it's directing the players, assembling scenes, opening portals. Just because you can't yet see the movement doesn't mean the stage isn't shifting beneath your feet. So deepen your transmission, not with volume, but with purity. Feel wealth without strain. Hold your vision not with urgency, but devotion. When you settle into the certainty that manifestation is not performative, that it is deeply felt and gracefully received, you unlock a new tempo of giving. Then the gold comes, not because you've earned it, but because you've become it. What you imagine, the universe interprets into response. What you feel, it translates into form. You are never ignored. You are always heard. The question is not, is it listening? The question is, are you aligned with the version of you who already knows the answer is yes? Speak now only in frequencies of fulfillment. See now only through lenses of arrival. Lean in. Gently, the whole cosmos is echoing you. Every star, every shift, every stir. You've been heard. Always, profoundly, irrevocably. Let your certainty become your language. Let your wealth become inevitable. Chapter 11. The entire universe always hears you. There is no such thing as an unheard thought in a responsive universe. Every whisper of desire, every sigh of longing, every silent imagining, it all registers in the quantum field, in the vault of everything. The moment you dare to want, to dream, to call in more, the entire universe reorganizes itself to honor that frequency. Not someday, not at the right time, but now. It listens in the language of vibration, not of words, but of resonance. That sacred hum inside you when you feel lit up by an idea. That isn't coincidence, it's confirmation. The wealth you seek is listening back. Let us dispel the illusion of silence. Just because your mind has learned to doubt, to delay, to fear whether your intentions are being seen or heard, doesn't mean they aren't. The seeds you plant in thought don't scream when they sprout beneath the soil. They quietly root, expand, deepen, until one day you see what was always being made for you, unseen but undeniable. That's exactly what your wealth is doing now. It's growing in the invisible. Your dream has been recorded in the ledger of the cosmos. So speak, imagine, visualize, embody. There is no wasted wish here. You're not throwing coins into a dry fountain. You're inscribing your reality on the blueprint of all that is. Your clarity is currency. Your certainty is signal. When you feel wealth in your bones, when you fall in love with your success before it arrives, the universe is compelled to echo it back. Even doubt is a signal, but it attracts delay. When you hesitate, the universe hesitates. When you second guess, the field does the same. But when you declare, when you claim, when you celebrate as if it's already here, your world tilts toward your truth like a sunflower reaches for the light. Remember this: prosperity doesn't rush, it aligns. It calibrates to the tone you hold. That is how fortune is summoned through inner fidelity, not frantic effort. Most people grow up thinking they must shout to be heard by life, hustle endlessly, prove their worth, posture until they're exhausted. But the artist of fortune knows that stillness holds more magnetic pull than strain. That silence, filled with strong energy, moves mountains behind the scenes. That dreaming is the truest form of strategic action when it is charged with belief, not desperation. You don't have to beg the universe. You dialogue with it elegantly, continuously, intuitively. Each moment of your day is a message, every thought a decree. Why think in limits then? Why imagine in grayscale when you could dream in tones of gold? You are not here to earn the right to be heard. You are the echo already forming before the sound. You are the match that ignites when lit by vision. The fortune you feel is real long before it becomes visible. The universe doesn't wait for reality to express truth. It waits for resonance. So, let your resonance be rich. Let it be electric with belief. Let it be drenched in enoughness. Speak to the world around you, even in silence. Affirm through your posture, your steps, your willingness to smile in the becoming. When you walk like prosperity is yours, the universe rushes to close the gap between you and your arrival. Energetic commitment is faster than action. It makes the air rearrange itself around your identity.
You are the transmitter and the receiver. When you feel wealth, genuinely, viscerally, deliciously, long before you touch it, it must begin to form. It's not just logic, it's law, the law of the listener.
The infinite creative intelligence that permeates all form is always, always listening to you. If only for today, dare to believe that nothing you want is random. Dare to believe you are not trivial in the eyes of the universe, that your desires are not annoyances, but assignments, divine ones, temporal echoes of your eternal self. When you know you're heard, how different your tone becomes. You stop pleading and start painting. You stop resisting and start receiving. You write, you think, you act like it's already yours, and so it is. This is your harmonic wealth, your uncontainable call, and life itself responds, like music, to the boldness of your note. Sing it beautifully. It hears you. Chapter 12. Being happy and prosperous. True prosperity sings in silence before it echoes through the world. It drips like golden honey from the corners of a smile at sunrise. It lingers in the patient heart, stretches through an unburdened breath, and peers through eyes deeply rooted in enoughness. This is the wealth most misunderstood, not the coins in your account, but the cadence of inner contentment that magnetizes all forms of good. Happiness and prosperity are not separate phenomena. They are twin tones in the same orchestral masterpiece, vibrating in harmony when the soul is finally attuned to its wealth. You have journeyed deep through the landscapes of mind, made abundance-colored visions, vibrational wisdom, quantum selfhood, and now, here, at the summit, you are invited to recognize joy is the true currency, and you are already carrying it. Happiness is not merely a ripple from gain, it is the gain. To stand relaxed in your being, lifted by a lightness that does not demand, but allows. This is prosperity in its most radiant form. The rich life is not just lived in grand estates or fiscal freedom. It is lived in the quiet confidence that life is conspiring beautifully on your behalf, and that nothing essential is ever withheld. We have learned how emotions sculpt reality, how the frequency you emit begets the form you receive. In this truth, happiness is not accidental, it is alchemical. The more you permit yourself to feel deep, unprovoked joy, the more you unlock the vaults of outer abundance. Joy says, I already believe, I already receive. It is the quiet signal the universe recognizes as readiness. No forcing, no yearning, just gleaming, grateful, present power. When you are happy and prosperous within, money takes notice. Opportunities linger, seeking your smile. Divine timing aligns, pulled in by your light. You become a golden field where fortune plants itself with ease, no tilling required. Not effortless in laziness, but effortless in alignment. There is no strain in your step when your soul has already arrived. You may have been told that achievement precedes happiness, that success is the stairway to smiles. But this book, this chapter, this moment in your being, unapologetically reverses that formula. Happiness is not the reward, it is the genesis, the signature, the inner celebration that calls the outer party to come. Be happy not because it's logical. Be happy because it's magnetic. Be happy as an act of wealth-making. Let joy be your proof of belief. Let your laughter echo as a prayer that's already been answered. When you smile and feel the glow of your own enoughness, long before the fifth proof arrives, the proof begins to unstitch itself from the realm of thought into form. The prosperous heart carries no tightness. It has no need to push. It doesn't plead for receiving. It radiates, and that radiance is noticed by people, by purpose, by the unseen architecture of fortune all around you. Prosperity flows not to the one who is best at wanting, but to the one who best expresses joy now, who celebrates inwardly before the mirror changes, who dances without condition, who understands wealth is joy illustrated, not joy earned. You deserve to be wildly, deeply, foolishly happy. For no reason, for every reason, for reasons that make no sense to the mind, yet are fully endorsed by the soul. This delight is not naivete, It's mastery, a quiet rebellion against the old paradigms of efforted gain, a holy declaration of abundance as your inner signature. There will come a day, perhaps it is now, when you no longer chase prosperity, but feel it, swelling through your blood as a song you already know. When your breath tastes like abundance, and your mornings shine with expectancy, not desperation. On that day, your happiness is no longer a result, it is the engine. This is the happiness of the truly wealthy, not circumstantial, not reactive, but self-generated, steady, strange, unshakable, a mystery to those who chase coins in the wrong direction, but perfectly understood by the soul who has redesigned their definition of riches to include joy, presence, and peace. So, walk now in your luminous, prosperous self. Smile with the elegance of one who remembers their divine inheritance. Laugh as if each breath deposits gold into the field of your life. Nothing more needs to be done than aligned becoming. Nothing needs to be earned but your own permission to feel bliss. When you are happy and prosperous within, the universe delivers on its promise. As within, so without. And all that was once a distant dream catches up to your vibration. Chased it, but because you finally matched it, you are the fortune. Joy is your language, and now you speak it fluently.